When most people think about Boston, they think about historic streets, old brownstones, cobblestones, Paul Revere, and you're not wrong, but let me present a counter argument. And that argument would be the Seaport District, Boston's newest, fastest growing, and most modern neighborhood in the entire city. Today, we're going through a map tour of the Seaport District, show you some great places to eat and hang out, what the housing market is like down there, and how you can experience the best of what's become the most vibrant waterfront hub in all of Boston. So if you like luxury living, waterfront views, and walkability, you need to see this. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Mike O'Brien. I'm a Boston real estate agent and expert helping people navigate the neighborhoods in and around Boston. And today we're going to dive into the Seaport District, one of the most exciting places to live in Boston right now. So today, again, we'll cover the housing market, what luxury living looks like here in the Seaport. We're going to go through some of my favorite places to eat and hang out. Again, in my opinion, we'll do a map breakdown so you know where everything is. And again, we'll give you a sense of what the atmosphere and vibe is here in Seaport. So let's start this tour. All right, so let's start to dive into this. Where is Seaport in Boston? You see the red outline right here. And so here's your downtown Boston, Roxbury, South Boston. So as we scroll in, you'll start to see that, it's just a couple bridges away from downtown Boston itself. You're right on the border of South Boston. Again, not to be confused with the South End. So South Boston, South End, but again, right in the thick of things. And I can't stress enough how much this wasn't really a neighborhood not too long ago. I used to live in the Boston area, we'll call it mid to late 2000s, and the Seaport was what it was. It was in the name. It was a port. It's where the ships came in and out of. It's where the seafood was delivered. And I moved away from work. I came back for work a couple years later, and all of a sudden the Seaport was a neighborhood. Again, one of the newest, fastest growing, and most modern neighborhoods in all of Boston. So let's start to get into it a little bit. I'm going to start to take you through, again, some of the buildings, some of the sites you need to see here. So let's just start off on Seaport Boulevard. I'm going to bounce a little bit back and forth between the housing market and some listings you might be able to see on the market right now and what those pricing looks like, where everything is. And of course, some of my favorite spots in Seaport as well. So we landed on Sleeper Street, sort of, kind of, but we're on Seaport Boulevard. And there's that lovely Boston skyline that you can definitely see from, Seaport from East Boston across the way. And it's funny that's called Seaport, by the way, because the sea's not right there. It's a harbor, technically. And so I guess it should be called Harbor Port, but either way, Seaport, I think, sounds way better. So giving a little scroll here. And we start to get in the Seaport. And right away, you can see the high rises again. And it seems like, you come back, you maybe visit Seaport and you come back a couple weeks later and there's another building or high rise under the construction. But let's start to go through it. So again, a lot of high-end luxury condos. You will see a lot of rentals as well. Let's get back on the road. And just a lot of condo buildings in general. But it does have a fair amount of green space. This is Seaport Boulevard. This is really the major thoroughfare where you will see a lot of these buildings. You're going to see a lot of shops, restaurants, and just a lot of people walking around, if we're being honest. So this starts to give you a little sense of what the Seaport is all about. So you have Pier Apartments over here. You have a little bit further down, St. Regis, which is one of the most premier condo buildings in Seaport. And then as you get away from called downtown Seaport, you start to get into more of the waterfront and wharf areas of the district. So let me just come back out here a little bit and show you where you can find a lot of the housing, because while Seaport has a lot, the housing is really kind of clustered into a couple key spaces. So if I may, we'll come to the MLS. So I'm letting you behind the curtain a little bit here. and we scroll down the housing market. So right now, at the filming this video, we have 73 listings. And you know what you don't see here at all? Single family homes. You're not going to find those in Seaport. You're going to find condominiums and you're going to find, luxury penthouses, luxury condos. You're going to find a lot in the rental market as well. But if we're going through everything, I mean, you're starting to see the numbers tick up, right? So average price, if I can move my little bar here, there we go. Average list price, you see it? I mean, $3.4 million. And you start to see some of these prices. So listen, if you have the scratch and you love luxury living, you are going to be very happy in Seaport. And there's a lot of options for you here. And you see, some of these 150 Seaport, that's the St. Regis, and so on and so forth. But if I bring you to the map, and just going back up to lower portion of the price range, I mean, again, you can find things for, mid to higher six figures for sure. But again, if you look into the square footage, I mean, smaller spaces, but again, buildings with amenities. Again, you're probably getting a great view of the skyline or the waterfront. You see a lot of exposed brick as well. And some of these older mill buildings have been turned into condos or converted. But really, when you're starting to get into the 1,000+ square feet, I mean, you're firmly into the $1 million range. In fact, you really need to get into the high $1 million and towards the twos before you're consistently in 1,000 square feet. And again, you can just see the price per square footage here. I mean, it's in the thousands. So listen, you're paying for the luxury living, you're paying for the amenities. And if you look at the map here of where all these listings are, again, this is all Seaport, but they're all pretty focused on Seaport Boulevard and really in this northwest section of Seaport as well. Otherwise, you have restaurants, wharf space, the pier, the ports, commercial and industrial space. So really the options geographically kind of contained. But again, you have these high-rise buildings with hundreds and hundreds of units or dozens of units at the very least. So this is kind of where the housing is if you're looking to live in Seaport. The good thing is that you are kind of in the thick of things. And we talk about walkability. You are definitely in the walkable section with all the restaurants, entertainment, and shops. So let's get into what the Seaport looks like. So let's go back over our map. Thanks for indulging me a little bit on the housing market. I hope that starts to give you a little sense of what it looks like, just at least price wise. So let's get back down on the map, and just to give you a little 3D look as well. So again, you're not seeing a lot of yards. You're seeing a fair amount of green space. Don't get me wrong, but here's your St. Regis over here. All these high rises, a lot of hotels as well. But let's go down the ground level and show you some of my favorite places. So we're back down on Seaport Boulevard. King's Entertainment, fun spot, bowling. It's got some arcade games there as well. So that is a great place for night out or with friends, family. And Seaport has really been a spot that's popped up with places like F1. So just almost like a Dave and Buster's, but it's all F1 racing where you can race against your friends or you race yourself if you want. But I went there not too long ago with the missus and some friends, and here we go, F1 arcade down here. Did I miss it? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. F1 arcade. So it's all up here. And so you can race against yourself. I highly recommend not going on the expert uh, the expert level because it is very much, they expect you to be a real F1 driver to be able to do that. Plus, I'm sad I can't drive. I can't drive shift anymore. I've forgotten how. So all these little spots, no, I won't call them little. This is really expansive, but like F1 arcade, Kings, we just went over. You also have, I'm going to show you the Putt Shack. So it's really becoming like adult playgrounds in Seaport a lot. So down here you have the Putt Shack. So, you can go down there, get your miniature golf on, and again, have a bite, have a beverage, not just Putt Shack. They also just came up with a new ping pong place. And I was just down here for a high school reunion with some guys who live in Boston. So again, adult playgrounds. You can head down here, play some ping pong, have a few beverages, have a bite, and hang out accordingly. So this is on Melcher Street, which is a little bit tucked away here from the main strip of Seaport, but there it is. So make sure you check out Spin. Again, and I mean, you do have a little bit more of the brick, the brick buildings here. So it does have sometimes that historic Boston feel at times. Moo, great steakhouse. They have a couple of locations. There's one right by City Hall. Technically, I guess that'd be Downtown Crossing or Boston Common. There's also one in Burlington, north of the city in the suburbs. But this is a great steakhouse. This is one of my favorite steakhouses in all of Boston. So I know I'm hopping around here a little bit. Lucky's Lounge sounds like another adult playground, but just a great kind of a loungy bar. It's exactly what it sounds like. But I want to go back over to this space over here. As you have the Boston Children's Museum over here. Let's see if I can get a little 3D view. You got the milk. You got the Hood Milk Monument there. There's your Boston Children's Museum. Also, a fun little outing is the Boston Tea Party Museum. That's over here. So I guess technically, well, wherever the line is, it's kind of Seaport, but maybe not, but close enough. We'll call it Seaport. And let's see if we can get a more aerial view as we're looking at downtown Boston. But I'm going to scroll in because you do have some greens. You have a lot of greens, a fair amount of green space. But you have this harbor walk. And if you've seen my South Boston or Southie video, you know the harbor walk is big thing there. Well, it circumnavigates the neighborhood, but you have this walk that goes all along, spin around, all along the waterfront here of Seaport. So, I mean, on a beautiful day or otherwise, you can really just spend the day walking along the waterfront really in the entire time if you so choose. So yeah, let's get back down the ground level and show you some of my favorite spots. So Davio's, you may have those where you live. Definitely a Boston chain. I think it's national. Big little Italian seafood steakhouse. And let's see if we can get to the waterfront here. Oh, we can get to the waterfront. So you can do, looks like there's a sailing series going on in the harbor right now. Yeah, so they have all sorts of boating opportunities and really events down here in the harbor in the seaport. So there's Boston, East Boston over this way. So let's get back downtown a little bit. Someone's getting some packages. But again, here you start to get into a little bit of shops and restaurants. Oh, be good. And so while Be Good is no longer with us, Committee definitely is right here. Let's see if we get a better view. Great Mediterranean restaurant, great outdoor space, and a fun place to grab a bite or a beverage. Now, I do want to take you down Fan Pier Boulevard here, get back to Seaport Boulevard, because over here on the left side, first off, during the summer and the winter, they have all these little pop-up shops on this left side. We're going to need to get a little further down. So we start to see them over here. So all these little like pop-up boutiques, clothes, cupcakes, um, just just kind of like neat finds. And then over here, this during the winter months is called Snowport. So they have skating opportunity, look, ice skating opportunities. It's all lit up for the holidays. You have these shops over here. They take more of a holiday theme for sure. But during the summer, Cisco takes this over, and it's just a beer garden. With a bunch of food options and opportunities in there, they have this great tent to hang out. So they got the cornhole in there. Let's see if I can get an aerial view actually. We can get an aerial view. This is great. So there's Cisco. So this Cisco takes us over during the summer months, and so this becomes a real popular hangout. During Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, even Saturday and Sunday. On the weekends, especially when it's night out. But they have all these eateries. Cisco is serving all their beverages. They have live entertainment. Seemingly whenever you're in there, it seems, and so really fun place to hang out and enjoy some of the local beverages. Now we go back to 2D. We go back to 2D and go back to our. I also want to show you the ICA, the Institute of Contemporary Art. This is a wonderful museum, again, in the Seaport. And can I get a better view of this? We'll see. Oop. There we go. Oh, had it, lost it. Chats up, chats down. So there's the ICA. So ICA, great contemporary art museum, and they do, of course, have art installations, performance spaces, performances there. They do First Fridays for members and non-members. So you can come down, check the art on a Friday night, the first Friday of each month. They have live music and live performances there as well, and also, I mean, it's right on the waterfront. Let's see if I can get back up and check that out. I just want to show you the. So again, you have all the marinas and wharfs here, and so you could be here at an event or viewing the art, and then you have the windows. It just you have this now amazing view that you can check out here on the water. Again, here's some more apartment condo spaces. And then as we start to kind of head further, we'll call it east. Further east, that's when you start to get into some of these fishing piers and these port areas, literally port areas of the Seaport. So as I'm scrolling through, you may see some Harpoon. If you're familiar with Harpoon, this is where their brewery and beer hall is. But of course, it's going to take me down the ICA. So let's pop back out here and see if we can get our little man. We'll get our little man down here next to Harpoon, because as you go through now the eastern part of Seaport, so there's Harpoon Brewery. They have a great beer hall in there, again, serving all their beverages. During they have Harpoon Fest, so they clear out this entire parking lot, set up a bunch of tents, turns into a big beer garden. Again, live entertainment, and just a great day of enjoying Harpoon beverages and all the entertainment as well. So that's become a really popular event, Harpoon Fest. That is in the spring. Yankee Lobster, great place to grab some lobster, lobster roll. Again, make sure you're differentiating between the Maine and Connecticut lobster roll. Maine is the hot with the warm butter. Connecticut is the cold with the mayo. So this is Leader Bank Pavilion. This is one of the concert spaces in Boston as well. So let's get off of that. So concerts here, outdoor concerts. They do, summer event schedule essentially from May to September. And so make sure you check out the Leader Bank Pavilion if you want to see some great outdoor concerts. I think the last concert I saw here was Counting Crows. Maybe that dates me a little bit. Not quite sure, but just to let you know. And then the last concert I heard was the B-52s. So I don't think those are all just 80s and 90s artists. I think they have some more contemporary and current artists as well. So that is, just so you give you a sense, lay of the land, that is at the very end of Seaport Boulevard. That turns into Northern Avenue. Also, you may have seen it. I'd be remiss if I didn't let you know that the Museum of Ice Cream is also in the Seaport as well. So if you want to learn all about the history of ice cream, make sure you check that out. And there it is. It's if you can't tell, it's the pink building. See if you can look. There it is, your Museum of Ice Cream. So that's fun. So again, you have some great museum and arts opportunities in Seaport. So between the Boston Children's Museum, the ICA, the Museum of Ice Cream, again, you should be able to keep yourself busy on a day in Seaport. And also just scrolling around a little bit to show you some other spaces I really enjoy. So if you come down Summer Street and head over to, again, this, and we'll show you real quick. I mean, this is, very much industrial space and port space down here. But they've also taken a lot of this industrial spaces and turned it into offices. They've turned it into gyms like Everybody Fights. You can also get a great bite to eat at Chickadee. Let's head down to the street level. So here, so this is, again, this is kind of I would say maybe a little hidden gems down here, because a lot of people, I think, just stay up as we're getting a good look at the trucks. A lot of people kind of stay up in the, call it downtown Seaport, which we just took a look at. But as you cut past Harpoon and Yankee Lobster and all that, where did Chickadee go? You have Everybody Fights Gym, which again is basically a boxing gym. Reebok has their headquarters here. And you know what? Let's just do this. So this is, Dry Dock Avenue. So there it is. We'll go outside a little bit. So there you go. So yeah, have had a couple of great meals there as well. So, as you're going towards the port section, we'll call it the industrial section, the dry dock section of Seaport, still plenty to find down there as well. Also, what Seaport has, and rightfully so with all the high rises, a lot of great roof decks. So again, if I can transition back out, and because one thing to note also is the roof decks. in the Seaport. With all these high rises, there are a lot of great roof decks, and rightfully so. Let's see if you can actually see them, but the hotel has a great roof deck. If we go over to Envoy, Envoy's got really one of the hottest roof decks in all of Boston. Oh, you also need to, just while we're here, Alamo Draft House and Cinema. So, great, great. Uh, Sorry. Oh my God, lost my train of thought there. Great theater, Alamo Draft House, where it's got the lean back seats, and also where you can get the food basically sent to your seat. So yeah, rooftop at Envoy. I don't think they're going to give us a great view here. Let's see if I change the angle. Not so much. Oh, there we go. There it is. So again, and you can find roof decks like this all over Seaport. Also, Barking Crab, great seafood place. You got a great green space down here at Martin's Park. So again, as you're in Seaport, this is where it all kind of happens with restaurants, living, shops. It's all kind of down here. But as you work down, you also have, oh, by the way, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the convention center. You have Heinz Convention Center, which is downtown Back Bay. This is the more recently built Boston Expo and Conference Center. And so this is just a huge space for conferences. Lawn on D. We talked about this again in the South Boston, just because it's right there. Great place to hang out. But at Green Space, they got all the cornhole, tables. They got swings here too. They got the lawn chess, pickleball courts. So Lawn on D is a big popular space to hang out here during the summer months. And again, I don't want you to think it's all over here when it comes to living, but I'll just see that's where a lot of that is. But again, as you come down this way, you all start to see more apartment buildings as well. So again, you do have some spaces and conversions that are on well, everyone take a look. So again, you have the hotels, but right here along D Street, these are buildings that have been converted into condominiums and apartment opportunities there as well. So you're kind of surrounded by hotels, but there are some residential options, not just in downtown Seaport. This is all South Boston over here. So it's become a thing to live in South Boston because the prices are a little bit more affordable, and come over to Seaport to hang out. But again, if you're looking for the newer neighborhood, the modern amenities, if you're looking for that luxury living, Seaport definitely provides all that and then some. So when I get back down to ground level, just again to show you a little bit of the walkability and the accessibility of Seaport. Like so much of Boston and so many neighborhoods in Boston, you have the bike lanes going up and down Seaport. The Silver Line basically it's more of a bus line than anything. Goes up and down Seaport Boulevard and throughout Seaport. So really, I mean, nothing too far away when it comes to Seaport and in terms of the public transportation options. I mean, 10-minute walk to South Station where you can pick up the Red Line or the commuter rail. The Silver Line runs through Seaport. That goes to downtown. Will take you to Logan Airport as well. And you have the bike lanes. You also have the blue bikes right here, so you can see them in the distance. So again, I've talked about these in other videos where you basically pick these up, use the app, and then you bike wherever you need to go, and either you drop them off in one of the stations where you end up, or you can come back home and drop them off here. So again, Seaport really accessible to everything. I mean, it's right smack dab between East Boston Airport, downtown, and you're right next to South End and South Boston in the day. So much like so much of Boston, again, is not far away from one another, the different neighborhoods. So really easy to get into Boston, get to the airport if you need to, and you can either walk yourself there, use a blue bike, or use the numerous public transportation options available to you. So that is our tour. And to sum it all up, if you're looking for luxury living with skyline and waterfront views, a really vibrant, walkable community, or a newer Boston neighborhood that has high-end restaurants, shops, really world-class amenities, then Seaport is probably for you. If you're looking for a backyard, historic charm, affordability, then maybe it's not the best match. But either way, it's worth checking out if you're looking to make Boston your new home. So again, I appreciate you coming on this full map tour of the Seaport District, Boston's newest and most modern neighborhood. So if you found this helpful, please give a thumbs up. If you have any thoughts on the Seaport District, make sure you drop them in the comments below. And make sure you check out my full Moving to Boston playlist right here. So whether you're just getting started on your home search or you're really ready to buy, reach out. I love to help you with your search or provide any insight that I can. You can find me on Instagram at Mike O'Brien Homes, or you can email me directly at mikeobrienhomes@gmail.com. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.